pain is holding you hostage. It is keeping you as its victim, and it is preventing you from being liberated, from being rescued, by holding on to you so tightly that there isn't any room for a rescue to occur. You have become completely engulfed in this pain. You dwell permanently in the place of this pain, and you have actually started to identify as the pain. Let me explain to you the only way to completely free yourself from your pain, and it is not what most people will tell you. This is based on the work of consciousness. It is heavily based on the book by Eckhart Tolle and The Power of Now, but it's based on the concepts of meditation. And any form of true deep spirituality will teach you that what you have to do is not fix the pain or change the pain or work with the pain or learn more about the pain. What you have to do is you have to return to your true being. You have to return to your true nature. Your nature is spirit. You are life force, life energy, God. You are divine. You are consciousness. You are the greatest force in this entire universe, and you existed prior to your pain, and you will exist after your pain. Your pain is an event in your being. But because that pain has not been processed, you haven't gone through and really experienced the emotions and released the emotions, the energy of that pain has become a little knot inside of your being. And that knot is hungry to be fed. It is an energy entity, so it feeds off of your energy in the form of your emotions. And the knot becomes bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger. Your pain becomes bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger because it keeps feeding off the emotions of your pain. It keeps feeding off of your thoughts about your pain, and it keeps connecting to other people around you and feeding off of similar flavored pain in them. So you might get triggered by someone, or you might go and trigger someone. Either way, the energy that occurs in the space between the two of you in that unconscious moment, in that unconscious interaction, is the energy that the pain inside of you wants to eat, it wants to consume, and it needs to feed regularly. So it will ruin your life. It will take over your energy. It will take over your thoughts. It will take over your emotions. It will take over your actions. It will take over your social life because it needs to feed. How do you free yourself from this? You free yourself from realizing that you are a pure, perfect, untainted divine entity. You are that right now. The pain is a temporary, corrupted form of some of the energy that is passing through your being. The pain is there and it will go away, but your nature is consciousness. Think of it like light. Consciousness can be referred to as light. It is a form of light. But let's just use the metaphor of light. There might be a little bit of a shadow somewhere, a little patch of darkness, but as long as you look at the darkness is there. As long as you stand in the darkness is there. The only solution is to go find the light, bring the light, and shine it on that darkness. So you have to find the light inside of you, your nature as light. As St. Paul said, anything that is exposed to the light dissolves because of the light and itself turns into light, right? If I walk into that dark space with my light and I shine my light, I won't find the darkness because I am the light. I am the light. I cannot find darkness if I stand as light. But if I stand as darkness, all I will see is the darkness. The spiritual path is about repositioning your identity. You have become lost in the identity of the pain, and you need to remember your identity as something far superior to the pain, something that gets rid of the pain instantly and fully. And that comes from shifting your consciousness. So how do you do that? If you've been looking, I encourage you to watch my series and check out my channel. There's a playlist called the Pain Body. There's about 5 or 6 videos in there. Have a look at them, and I go through this in a stepwise manner. I'm not going to say it all in this video here because I don't have the time. But what you have to do is you have to maintain the position of observing. You have to, this is what Eckhart calls the power of now. Being here now and accepting what exists now and not resisting it and not fighting it at all is a powerful thing. That is the power of the now, right? So what does that mean? It means, okay, so there's two parts of your being, the divine consciousness and the ego. The ego is the mind, is created by the mind, the egoic mind, let's call it that. And that only can do one thing. It can judge and it can label. It can think and it can describe, it can categorize. And when you exist in this place, you're not achieving anything. But in this place, in the divine consciousness, there is no judgment, no description. Now, I'm trying to be clear here because I've said this in other videos, and some of your comments I realized that maybe we're not clear on what observing means. If you judge and you say, this is evil and this is stupid, clearly that's the egoic mind. But any form of labeling, any form of othering is also the egoic mind. So if I say, this pain is this color, it's red, the pain is red. I didn't say it was good or bad, I said it was red. It's still a form of othering. And that is something that only the egoic mind is doing. So if you describe any property of your pain, where did the pain come from? How long has it been here? How big is it? How deep is it? What triggers it? Who is it related to? Who caused it? Was it your mother? Was it your father? When did it start? Were you young? Whatever properties. The pain overtakes me. The pain controls my mind. The pain comes up on a Tuesday, or the pain is triggered by thoughts like this. Whatever descriptive words you're using is still being experienced by the egoic mind. So even what you think is the process of healing has been usurped, has been taken over by the mind. The mind is tricky and slippery, and it will pretend that your healing from the egoic mind is happening when it is actually being led by the egoic mind. How do you solve this? You have to solve it by going to divine consciousness. And one of the properties of divine consciousness is no judging, no labeling, no describing whatsoever. Absolutely no resistance to the present moment, to what is. So when you are able to just see the pain, not describe it, not engage with it, not avoid it, not soothe it, not try to fix it, but just simply see the pain and say, and just, this is the present moment. The present moment has pain in it and there's no resistance whatsoever. Then you know you are in consciousness, and consciousness is the light, and the light is dissolving the pain. So I hope that's clear. I know it's very, very odd, especially if you're not very familiar with the state of observing presence, but you want to be an observer who is not a describer. And I know instinctively this sounds wrong, because if you're in therapy, or if you're doing any kind of shadow work, or if you're in the 12-step programs, it's all about recognizing and acknowledging the pain. Now, there is validity in, doing the work to figure out where the pain came from, what's causing it, how does it work on me. Fine. That is something that you can do in certain parts of your life. But in the moment when the pain body is awakened, thoughts are not going to fix it in that moment, because you are unconscious, you are under its possession, you're under its spell. You need help, and you need a help that is greater than your mind, your analytical brain, or any of your therapy sessions. In that moment, in that part of your life, right? I'm not saying that therapy and all the other work is not necessary. I'm just saying in that moment of unconsciousness where the pain body has awakened, the only help you have is consciousness, is your identity as spirit, your divine self. And you need to shift from one to the other. No matter how many analyses or tools or notes that you do as part of your psychological or therapy work, no matter how much of that you throw at the pain body, it will not stop the pain body. The reason is because your pain body and who you truly are so close together that you have been mistaken as one being. Think of this metaphor. Imagine one of those cop shows, one of those TV shows, right? And you have the bad guy. The bad guy's got a gun and the cops are after him. And the bad guy takes someone hostage. He takes you hostage. He's holding you. You know that scene, right? And he's got the gun. I'll shoot her, right? No matter how many snipers you put around, If you have 5 snipers, they can't shoot the bad guy because the bad guy is so close to you right now. He is so close to you that there isn't a clear shot. If you put more snipers around, you put 12 snipers, 100 snipers, you bring a whole freaking army, they cannot shoot him because he is so very close to you. He has held you hostage, and there isn't a clear shot because the distinction between your pain, your egoic mind, and yourself cannot be made. They are too close together. You have to separate them. To separate them, you have to step aside far enough to watch the pain body. If you can get a few feet between the bad guy and the hostage, you can take down the bad guy, right? All the tools in your life, everything that your therapist gave you, everything that you learned in 12 steps can work then. The light of consciousness obviously will work better, faster, stronger, but whatever your tool is, one of them will take down the bad guy. But first you have to separate your identity from him, from it. I am a victim. I am helpless. I can't help myself. This is what I have to deal with forever. Now listen very carefully. I'm not trying to say do not acknowledge your pain. I'm not trying to say pretend that it doesn't exist. I'm not trying to say go la da, life is perfect, I am perfect, nothing's wrong with me. That's not what I'm saying. Your mind, your body, your physical existence, your mental existence, yes, there is something wrong there, obviously. We acknowledge that and we do the work to fix it and we do the therapy, that's fine. But you are not your pain. You are not your pain. You are experiencing your pain. So let me give you another metaphor. You are an actor who came onto a stage and decided to play a character for 90 years. And when this scene is finished, you will exit stage right. And you will return to being an actor. The truth is, you never stop being the actor. And this scene that you are playing out is being done for a reason. And you have, when the character that you play gets into trouble and things get heated and that character's life is in danger or that character is in pain or that character is crying, you cannot identify with what's going on with the character too much. Because you can't, not to the point where you forget that you are an actor. Again, I know it sounds like I'm saying dissociate from your feelings. I'm not. Read more from Eckhart Tolle, watch more videos like this, try to understand it more and more until it really clicks in. But what I'm saying is you have to realize your divine nature. What you are cannot be corrupted. It can only be clothing that you put on for a while and then take off. If you remember that, if you remember who you are, you remember your nature. And your nature is divine, all powerful. You are light. You are light, you are God, you are every superior word you can think of. And that being cannot get lost or get consumed by or be hurt by anything that your memory throws at you. You cannot be hurt by any thought that your mind wants to think. You cannot be hurt by any painful emotions that rise up in you in order to feed a dormant or a lodged pain body inside of your being. While this is in fact happening, that is the dynamic of what is happening, it cannot consume you. You are God. You are Christ consciousness. You are the God consciousness. You are something divine and uncorruptible. If you can spend time in that space, then you can distance yourself from that play, that gunplay that's going on, right? Mind, emotions, pain, other people's body, trigger, more pain, more thoughts, more memories, more pain. It is happening. I'm not saying do not acknowledge that it is happening, but recognize who is watching it. So I've talked about this in other videos, and a couple of people wrote me and said that they're taking notes of the nature of the pain. They're learning more about their pain. What I want you to do is learn more about your nature that is not pain. Be in the self with a capital S, the self. This can only happen through presence, what Eckhart Tolle calls presence. And the simple version of it is that you have to experience meditation. You have to use meditation, whether it is sitting in stillness, whether it is chanting a mantra, whether it is going into nature, whether it is listening to the sound of your breathing, whether it is being in the company of other people who are accustomed being in presence. Whatever method you use, I call it all meditation, right? Use meditation to attain microscopic little tiny moments of presence. And in those moments of presence, you realize who you are. You pierce little holes in the veil. You crack the wall and the light comes in. And the light starts to shine on the darkness and you realize that the darkness isn't there. When the light shines, you realize the darkness isn't there. I hope I am making sense to you. If not, just please do not lose faith. This is the absolute truest truth of all. And it will help you with anything that you're going through, no matter how overwhelming it feels. So please check out the playlist, check out some of my meditations, or read Eckhart Tolle, listen to him online. Do any type of meditation that will help you to be in your being. And slowly, one day after the other, you will eventually figure out what I'm trying to talk about. And you will remember. You're just under a hypnotic spell right now and you're not remembering. You will one day remember who you are. And an actor cannot be truly affected by anything that happens on the stage. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe if you like this. I have a lot more videos coming. The next series I'm going to do is on enlightened relationships, as to use a term that Eckhart Tolle came up with. It's how to interact with people, friends, coworkers, random strangers, and especially people that you're in a close, intimate relationship with. Knowing that we all carry pain patterns inside of us and that we can easily trigger it in amongst ourselves. How do we interact in a way that instead of making the pain worse, we make the awakening stronger? We hold space for each other and we awaken each other. Okay, so let me know and how you're responding to this video, and please look forward to those other videos. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.